Know your worth.
In a quiet, sunlight village where birds sang and children laughed, a young boy named Rohan sat alone near the old village well. While others smiled and played, Rohan stared down at the ground, kicking pebbles and sighing deeply. "Why doesn't anyone ever notice me, Grandpa?" he asked quietly. "I try so hard, but it's like I don't matter." Just then, his grandfather, Arun, wise, calm, and full of kindness, walked over. Without a word, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a dull, dusty stone. "Come," Arun said, placing the stone in Rohan's hand. "I have something for you. Take this to the market. Ask people what it's worth, but don't sell it. No matter what." And with that, Rohan's quiet journey began, one that would teach him a lesson far greater than gold. Rohan walked through the colorful village market, the air filled with laughter, clinking coins, and the scent of ripe fruit. Holding the dusty stone tightly, he approached one vendor after another. "What's it worth?" he asked, hopeful. The fruit seller squinted, shrugged, and smiled. Looks nice. I'll give you 10 rupees. Might look good next to my bananas." At the cloth store, a woman looked at it, turning it under the light. "It shines a little," she said, "maybe 20 rupees." Rohan moved from shop to shop. Some laughed, some shrugged, none saw much value in the stone. Offer after offer, the message was the same: it's not worth much. And so, with a handful of rejected offers and questions in his heart, Rohan returned home, more confused than before.
Before we dive into the story, I have a small request. Please don't just leave after watching. If you enjoy my stories, your support means everything. A simple subscribe can help this channel grow and keep the stories coming.
Back home, in the quiet of their courtyard, Rohan sat beside his grandfather. The stone still rested in his palm, now feeling heavier with doubt. "They didn't offer much," Rohan said softly. "Just a few coins. 10, maybe 20. Arun listened with a knowing smile, not surprised. He nodded, as if Rohan had taken the first step on a long road. Then, without hesitation, he leaned forward and spoke again. "Now," he said, "go to the city. Find the jeweler. Show him the same stone, and remember, don't sell it." Rohan looked up, confused, but curious, and so, with questions still unanswered, he set out again, not knowing what he was about to discover. The city was louder, brighter, filled with carriages, tall buildings, and the shimmer of gold in every window. Rohan stepped carefully into the grand jewelry shop, his dusty stone still in hand. The jeweler, an older man with sharp eyes and steady hands, looked up from his desk. "Let me see it," he said, reaching for the stone. He placed it under the light, adjusted his glasses, and suddenly, his eyes widened. "Where did you find this?" the jeweler gasped. "This is no ordinary rock. This is a rare sapphire." The man stood quickly, now excited. "I'll give you 50,000 rupees, right now." Rohan's eyes widened, stunned. He took a breath, looked at the stone, then shook his head slowly. "I'm not selling it," he said gently. "Thank you." And with that, he turned and walked away, the stone still in hand, but now carrying something far more valuable: understanding. The sun was setting when Rohan returned home. Golden light spilled through the trees, as he sat beside his grandfather under the old neem tree. In his eyes, not confusion, but something new. Realization. Arun looked at him and smiled, as if he already knew what Rohan had discovered. "They offered me 50,000 rupees, Rohan said quietly. "A jeweler saw something in the stone, something no one else did." Arun nodded. "The stone didn't change," he said softly. "The people who looked at it did. He placed a hand on Rohan's shoulder. Some saw a rock. One saw a gem. Remember this, Rohan. Know your worth. Even if others can't see it, you are valuable. And as the last rays of sunlight faded, Rohan smiled, not because of the stone, but because he now understood. Your value doesn't depend on who sees it. Always know your worth. Moral of the story: your true value doesn't change based on someone else's opinion. Not everyone will recognize your worth, but that doesn't mean it's not there. Always believe in yourself, even when others don't.